The next in the series of interviews with some of the thought leaders at LTS. Really pleased to be talking to Dr. Patrick Mohr, Corporate Vice President of R&D today. One of my favourite people at LTS. Super bright guy and a super nice guy too. Patrick, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. You've been in and around LTS for a little while now, so I'm sure there are lots of people who know who you are and what you do. But for those of us who haven't met you before, perhaps you could start by telling us a little bit about what you do at LTS.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, indeed. It's almost 16 years that I started at LTS. But my current roles, it can be divided, I think, in three roles. The first one is I'm supervise the innovation management, which was founded around about 2.5 years ago. The second one is related to the clinical sponsorship. So for our internal projects, we also perform clinical phase 1 studies, so early phase 1 studies. And that is also under my responsibility to see that all these studies are running. They are not so much, and it will be done with external partners, CROs, and so on. But the coordination, the study coordination and the sponsorship, that's also something which I take care of. And the third role, and maybe the main role, is I'm heading the Pharmaceutical Development too. So in that function, responsible for 2 labs, which are mainly based on internal projects. So it's the development of transdermal systems, but also all thin films, depending on the needs of a special API, whether it's better to do that in a transdermal or in a transmucosal form.
Okay, so not much to do then. What do you do with the rest of your week?
Yeah, it's okay, but it's quite challenging and very interesting, as it's not focusing just on one topic, but really you have the whole bench of different topics.
Absolutely. I'd like, if I may, to just do a bit more of a deep dive into oral thin films, which of course has been a technology of LTS for some time now. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the sort of benefits are of OTF and where you see the current and future trends in that technology platform?
Yeah, indeed, our thin films are really an amazing dosage form. So as you really can modulate the drug uptake in different ways. For example, you can just formulate an oral thin film, which can be placed on the tongue, which dissolves very quickly. You can swallow it, and it acts more or less like a tablet, like an oral formulation, but with the benefits in that case that you do not have any swallowing issues, as it directly dissolved or disintegrates. The other thing is that you can also circumvent the GI tract by using the transmucosal route of administration. And also here you can place it under the tongue for a sublingual administration. And in that case, you can achieve, for example, a very fast onset of action, which might be of benefit for some of the drug substances where you need that quick and high plasma levels and not like a chronic or a flat plasma profile, which would be of benefit for a transdermal system. The third one is also that you can modulate it even further by using different kind of polymers, that you can place it on the cheek, on the buccal area, and just use that buccal drug uptake, where you can really slow a little bit the plasma level, but still are in a fast range. And with that, you can place the all thin film for 5, 10, up to 30, maybe 1 hour. And the drug uptake is really done via the transmucosal route. And that is quite nice. It's really depending on the physicochemical properties, on the indication, whether you need really a fast onset, a little slower onset. You can really modulate that by choosing the different kind of polymers, and then have a quite convenient dosage form, you do not need any kind of water. Typically, you do not have any kind of formulation which needs to be taken out of the mouth. So it's really completely dissolves within seconds, but also up to, as mentioned, 1 hour. So yeah, very, very interesting one. And with that, you can tackle a lot of obstacles, a lot of hurdles we know from other oral formulations like tablet or capsules, as mentioned, the swallowing issues, but also the impact on food effect, which can be circumvented when you do not use the GI tract. And yeah, maybe just a brief summary of the benefits of oral thin films.
So it feels to me like there's real benefit to the pharma companies and to the patients as well, both in terms of, as you say, if people are finding it difficult to swallow, then there's an adherence benefit there, but also in terms of the breadth and depth of therapies that you can deliver through oral thin films, there's real benefit to pharma partners too.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that the LTS will be shortly publishing a white paper on the results of a study actually into OTFs and esketamine. That study will be published quite soon. But could you give us a preview of the highlights from that study, perhaps?
Yeah, sure. So that was really a very interesting development. Yeah, it's an esketamine oral thin film, which is a fast dissolving film, and we developed that formulation and enter into an exploratory clinical phase 1 study, and that was done together with the University of Leiden. And not sure whether you know Professor Albert Dahan. He's a real expert in ketamine and the different indications where you can use it, whether it's anesthesia or whether it's pain or depression or a lot of other indications. And we were able to choose a quite sophisticated study design to not only show the PK profile, so Cmax, Tmax area under the curve, but also to have a first understanding about the pharmacodynamic profile. It's still in healthy subjects, but we were able to use or to mimic the pharmacodynamic properties, so the real effect, by choosing 3 different pain models. So that was really amazing, and we really achieved very interesting results out of this study. And indeed, we will present that quite soon in the middle of July in a masterclass webinar where we can, of course, show some more details about the whole development and the outcome of the study.
It's almost like we practice this, Patrick. So on the 14th of July, as you've just said, you're running a masterclass on this subject. For those who haven't registered yet, what could they expect to learn in this masterclass?
Yeah, we divided that into several sessions. So I will start with a short introduction regarding the oral thin film technology, just to give you or the audience an overview of the different types of oral thin films, of the benefits as we discussed today. And a second session will be headed by Albert Dahan. He will give a very interesting insight into ketamine and the role of ketamine in pain. So that is currently the focus. And you may know that there are a lot of different pain conditions or pain treatments as an option available, whether it's acute pain or neuropathic pain. And he will really dive deep into the role of ketamine in the different conditions. So will be a very interesting lecture about that. The third one is then really focusing on the Esketamine OTF clinical study results. That will be presented by Florian Hammes, the project leader of the project. So in that case, you will really see the pharmacokinetic properties, the pharmacodynamic results of the different pain models. You will see the metabolites. You will get some more information about the rationale, why we do that or why we did that. And also, some more understanding about the next step. The third part is then headed by May Pidding, our business development responsible in North America. She will talk a little bit about LTS and the role of LTS and how you can work together with LTS. She will talk also about the esketamine market and why that could be of benefit for potential partners. And finally, and I'm quite happy that we were able to do that also, we will have a, let's say, breakout session afterwards, after the 2 hours, where all the people in the audience will have a chance to chat or to discuss with the different people from the master class, so myself, but also Albert, Florian, and May. We will have some time, half an hour, and you can discuss whatever you like, whether it's oral thin film, whether it's ketamine, whether it's pain, or whether it's how we can work together with LTS. So that's what you can expect from that 2 or 2.5 hour masterclass. And yeah, very happy for everybody who can join and will take the time. And I can promise that it will not be a boring session.
No, I'm sure. Sounds like a really content-rich session. So that's on the 14th of July. You'll see in the outro to this video the link where you can click to join. I guess my sort of final question, we've given a real helicopter view on quite a few subjects around OTF today, but what do you see as the next sort of key development, if you like, in the journey of OTF?
Oh, good question. I would say that there are 2 topics, maybe more, but maybe 2 topics which I believe are of real importance in the future. So the one thing is really related to personalized medicine. So I see that all thin film will show a real benefit when it comes to that special form of treatment. And it's something which is discussed decades ago, but still it's not really implemented. It's quite difficult, but more and more, or it will be more and more of importance to deal with that, to really consider that personalized medicine as not, or each individual patients will need a certain dosage form to circumvent or to reduce adverse events, for example. And that can be quite nicely covered with all thin films. That really can be punched out of the laminate. You have different sizes of all thin films, and with that you have a defined dosage. It's not that easy, of course, but something where I see real benefits. The other one is maybe vaccination. A very interesting part of the current discussions also with the COVID, and you see here the obstacles of the treatment options so far, whether it's stability under cold chain conditions, or whether it's just the application, you need an injection. And there's a chance also to use the mucosal route of administration for that kind of vaccination. And if that really works, and at least it is already shown for some of the sublingual formats, but if that really works for transmucosal oral thin film, then it's of course a very convenient way to do that. Just place them on the cheek, just wait for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or maybe 5 minutes, and then you get vaccinated. So that are maybe 2 of the very important benefits of all thin films, and I strongly believe that will also something which we have to take care in the next years when it comes to all thin films.
Wow, watch this space. I think if you can develop the COVID vaccination, eradication of cold chain, no reliance on healthcare professionals, mass vaccination within minutes, as you say, with an oral thin film. That's genuinely exciting opportunity, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is really more or less the holy grail. Will be not that easy, but I believe that we will be able to manage that also for some of the vaccines, to really see more stable formulations in the future, which really can circumvent that problems in respect of cold chain. And injection, of course, it's not a real convenient way to apply APIs or vaccines. But yeah, so far it's not that easy to use other dosage forms.
And then, of course, there's the whole sort of sustainability argument as well around that. So lots and lots of exciting opportunity there by the sound of it.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, that should keep you quiet for a few more years, I guess.
I think so, yeah. It will not be boring, no.
Patrick, thank you ever so much for your time today. Just a reminder that masterclass on esketamine and oral thin film is on the 14th of July. The link will be in this video. And yeah, please join us then. Patrick, for now, thank you ever so much for your time. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you as well. This was a pleasure for me.
We'll speak soon. Take care.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.